Do that again.
Do that again.
Hey,
They've all got
Jack.
that Louisiana thing about them.
Episode 5. We're
there.
back. All 3 of us are here.
Yeah.
You probably can't see, but my hands are in the air. I'm doing like one of those like emojis, like yeah.
You looked like Zoolander for a second. It was.
Oh yeah, doing Blue Steel.
Yeah.
Absolutely, fantastic movie.
I missed
Cody.
I missed the camo backwards hat memo. I gotta go get my camo hat and I gotta wear it backwards, I guess.
That's right. You can flip that Carhartt around. It'll work.
I do it because my lock.
I know. Well, mine
God
now.
dang! I got no hair underneath that thing. One of you's got 2. What? You stole his hair?
I know. Kelly stole my hair.
Jesus Christ!
Hey man, I haven't sent you a Christmas present yet. I got it for you. Pack it up.
Yeah, send that to me.
Big old toupee.
I know.
I use that. What is it? Strawberry Suave shampoo and conditioner from Walmart, baby.
I know. I've been
Makes it nice
going back and forth on.
lusciously thick.
Do you shampoo a bald head, or do you use body soap up there? What do you guys think?
I thought you used deodorant, just like rub on stick deodorant.
I thought it was body soap. You could use that 3-in-1 and then you don't have to worry about it. It's all the same thing.
Well, right. I'm trying to keep it like nice and moisturized. So I was trying to decide, like, do we think shampoo moisturizes more, or do we think body soap keeps it more moisturized? You know,
I mean, if you're going down that route, you might as well just throw lotion on top whenever you're done.
That's what I did last night.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. All right, I'm gonna come out and say it. I was insanely depressed, Kelly, when you texted me last night or 2 nights ago, whenever it was, and it was a screen grab or a link where the C.J. Alexander buck was potentially illegally harvested. And I read through it, and it looks like Ohio Fish and Game has confiscated the mount. They've confiscated the cape,
the weapons, the
weapons. Ugh. And it's all because allegedly he didn't have. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Permission.
He didn't have written permission. Yeah, which is what you need in Georgia as well.
I think it was his sister's property. Like it wasn't like he went on random, Billy Joe Blow's property and did it. It was sister or sister-in-law. I can't remember.
Like close member of the family.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
So how did that come up though? Because if it's like a family member, I feel like the family member could just come back and be like, "Oh, well, I'll let him on. Like it's fine."
I feel like a family member could easily print out a piece of paper and be like, "Oh no, here it is."
I don't know, man. Look, I don't listen to anything anymore until the final what have you comes out ever, because it just you never know what's going on. I'm still gonna say it. It would have been hard to pass that buck no matter where he was at.
Oh my God. If that was a ditch
I might have
book,
been doodling some permission slips or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That thing's a stud, man. When you sent it to me, I was my first thought, there's a jealous asshole either in the family or a friend or something. Mm-hmm. Like that's just a jealous dude for sure.
That's what's so interesting is like if it's family, I feel like it would almost like have to be another family member that would like let that come out.
Yeah.
Because if it's just a sister's property or something, it's like if it was your sister, I feel like she'd just be like I feel like that wouldn't come out to somebody.
Maybe he doesn't like the brother-in-law.
Yeah, could be.
They got into fisticuffs at some point, and brother-in-law's like, "Oh, you shot that buck on our property, did you?"
Or they're really nice siblings, and she was like, "Yeah, just don't tell Ernest.
Yeah.
Don't tell my husband." And he went out there and shot it. Now it's public. I look at it as he's so public with the deer because he wants it to be the record. I mean, what did you say? He could have up to $100,000 or something like that for this deer.
Well,
for him to be that public about the deer, I mean,
this is yeah. I mean, it's a potential number 2. It's right behind the huff buck, right?
Yeah, that's right. This isn't the same deer,
and I'm pretty sure this was like officially scored, like official. It's 208 and whatever. So I mean, anything over 200, you're going to garner 6-figure requests from people.
I just think
So-
if he was doing something that he knew was wrong, I mean, he probably wouldn't have been out showing this damn deer to everybody on podcasts. He was literally on podcasts.
Yeah. I don't know. Because fame and fortune do some weird shit to people. Kelly's face is frozen, and you looked like you had just.
It's probably not frozen. I would just sit still.
you look like you had eaten the heaviest edible brownie I've ever seen in my life.
Oh,
You were
dude,
just like,
no.
"Oh,
I just
bro."
look like I'm Chinese constantly.
Yeah. Jesus.
I probably do have an edible still in my bag somewhere. I don't know if we can say that. We can say whatever
Yeah,
we want, can't we?
We can say whatever we want. We're not regulated by religious media anymore.
You guys are the ones in Florida that have the, the what do they call them? The dispensaries everywhere. We don't even have those up here.
Yeah, but you're working on it though, aren't you? Because I see CBD shops and shit everywhere when I'm up
I
there.
don't know. We went into the Alpine dispensary in Helen a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I know exactly
and
you're going to
there's
say,
nothing-
Helen.
There's nothing. I go in and I was like, so what can you sell? We can sell anything that's federally regulated and legal. I'm like, so does it got THC in it? We can sell any. I'm like, all right, never mind, guy. Later.
I don't even know.
Partake. It just, maybe I would one day if my back hurts real bad.
Listen, I'm with you. I don't even know what the difference is. I don't know what CBD is. I don't know what THC is. I don't know any of that. Like, I am 100% in the dark about any of that crap. So whenever you're like, yeah, they have a CBD shop, they have THC shop, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, dude. Whatever gets your.
I'm not gonna lie, I get so like calm and good feeling when I go out and sit in the woods in the morning, wait for the sun to come up, just kind of wait for the woods to wake up. Be a good time to pop a gummy and see how you really feel.
You would sleep until fucking sunset. Every deer and duck would pass you by. Every single one.
Or I'd just be the guy that gets paranoid and I wake up and be like, is he over there? Where's he at?
Listen, man, there were deer all around me. I could hear them all. They're coming for us.
Lord. What were we talking about before I went down the weed hole?
I don't know. The buck, the Alexander buck.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of bucks, I have I'm always trying new things on how to like do European mounts and stuff like that. Last year it was just take the skull and put it in a bucket of water and let it sit for like 3 weeks. Worked fantastic. I mean, basically after 3 weeks, everything just melts right off and you just clean it out. Someone's phone's on. And it's a real easy way to do it. And it's not as harsh as like boiling it and then hitting it with bleach or anything like that. This year I saw some things, admittedly, I didn't really give it a whole lot of thought. Excuse me. I saw some people, they would bury their heads over the winter. I think that's less of a let's try and get a clean skull and more of a let's preserve it till the springtime because most of those places have frost lines. And we don't have a frost line down here. And for the last 3 days in a row, almost every single time my dog has gone outside, I've had to give him a bath immediately afterwards because he comes inside smelling like rancid dead animal.
Oh, because you have yours buried?
Yes. And it gets dug up.
Did you bring it up because you saw my two back there?
Yeah, I saw those, and the dog's sitting here on my lap, and I just figured I'd chime in and be like, he's gotten on my nerves the last 2 to 3 days in a row, but he's a good dog. It is what it is.
These things, man, I used to do the leave it out in the yard thing or put it in a hole or put it in an ant bed, and I didn't want to wait anymore, and it never got everything off no matter what.
Right.
Both of these behind me, these are actually both from my property here. I put them in a pot of simmering water with no measurement, just squeeze a shit ton of Dawn dish soap.
Oh, dish soap.
Yeah, and it gets rid of the oils and makes everything break up.
Yeah,
yep,
and
it all floats to the top. So you simmer it for 4 hours, and it doesn't hurt the bone. and it has to be 4 hours. You do it 3 hours, it's not tender enough. It's like cooking a pot roast. It's got to really break everything down. And I'm telling you, at 4 hour mark, you take it out, you put a pair of leather gloves or something on, and you grab a hold of the eyeball, and half the face comes. I mean, it just falls off. Everything comes off. And I take a screwdriver, a screwdriver, and the little
rattle up the brain a little bit.
Yeah, since we're talking about it, may as well.
Kelly, for those of you listening, is stepping away from the mic and grabbing a skull. Now he's bumping into the mic.
So these little things here at the back of the skull, you stick a screwdriver in there and kind of swish it around.
Scramble the brains.
Yeah, and then it just comes right out.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's basically the same thing that I was doing by putting it in a bucket of water. I put it in a bucket of water, and I might have put soap in there. I can't remember. I want to say I put just a little bit of bleach in there. Not much, not enough to like stain the antler or anything. Just a little tiny bit to kill, anything that might be in there.
Well, I don't just do it so after I take it out and I get everything cleaned off of it. Then it goes back in, and I wrap the horns with saran wrap right at the bases.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I put 2 bottles of peroxide and clean water. And then I boil it for 30 minutes. And the peroxide doesn't hurt the bone at all. So nothing falls apart, nothing breaks. And it doesn't stain anything because you've wrapped it with saran wrap. So they're completely perfect. And it takes, you need to have 5 hours in a 12-pack to, pass the time, but
who doesn't have that?
Yeah, but they turn out really good. It's
That's
easy.
Not too shabby.
Mm-mm.
Cody, you excited for your first buck?
Yeah, I'm just soaking all this in because I've never gotten the chance to do this yet. So I'm excited for the entire experience.
Oh man, we got to make that happen.
Oh, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Well. Ooh.
No,
we should take this opportunity to say congratulations, Cody. Family is expanding a little bit. However, God rest your soul. I don't know how much hunting you're going to get done next year.
This year, next year, we may just have to really make a couple of perfect spots for you just to make it happen.
Yeah. We were together yesterday, and I told him, I was like, "Look, dude, March 30th is the opening of turkey season in Georgia, private land. When does the baby due? Yeah."
Is that like 10 days earlier than last year?
It feels early, right?
I thought, yeah, that sounds great.
Mm-hmm. Public land is in April. It's like the first week in April, but March 30th is which I posted that photo to Instagram the other day. I've already got strutters on camera.
Yep. You saw the ones I had in, what was it, August it was archery season, and I had them strutting underneath my tree stand.
Yeah, I could not believe that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, you're way too early for this. And it was like 32 degrees outside.
Yeah, they start gobbling like crazy behind my house here in like mid-February.
Dude, everything is behind. You know what? All right, hang on. We're getting sidetracked here because I want to talk about. I want to talk about that in a second. What I told Cody, I'm like, I know the baby's due in May. Sorry, May. Yeah. Well, you've got to have the 30th off so we can get up there, whether it's to the lease or whether it's to the property up in the mountains. Like we got to do something.
Man, and I think you guys have a better chance up there at the house even.
I do too.
I mean, it's just silly up there.
Yeah, I do too.
Just sit on the ridge.
As long as there's no dog on the porch barking at us nonstop.
Yeah,
put him in a bathroom.
That's controllable.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think it is.
I know.
I've never wanted to murder a Labrador so bad in my life.
Did that happen last year?
Yes.
Oh no!
I was getting birds on camera, and like he's all excited, and the families came up, and it was like one of those things. It was like, okay, well, the wives are going to hang out at the house and watch the kiddos, and we're going to go in the woods, and we get in the woods, and it's just a non-stop barf. Barf! Barf! And then in the valley there, it's between two sizable mountains, and it's just like barf,
back and forth.
Barf, 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 barf. So while every single other property that we drove by had turkeys on it, ours did not. We saw a lot of birds when we were driving around, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
But
yeah, that one was
what
tough
are you gonna do?
because we did see a ton
That
driving
was-
around, and then we'd be like, all right, we feel good about it. So we'd go back out and nothing. And that dog just kept barking. So yeah, no, this trip, March has to be, I hate to say it, no
boys
family.
only.
Yeah.
No, it's boys only.
Yeah. No dogs, no wives, no kids.
No.
I'm really excited about turkey season. Like last year was my first year really trying.
And you
And I
got damn
really
close.
I mean, I could have shot them. They just were just over the line, and they wouldn't come through the barbed wire fence. And then I had them just over a ridge, and when I tried to get around them, I think they heard me, and I caught them just going back into the woods when I came around the ridge. But
So
I was 20 yards away from them. But man, it's got me stoked to go this year. Like I know
were they
I can
drumming
make-
for you? I feel like I ask you that every time you talk about turkeys. I think that's just the coolest thing for me.
I have an issue hearing them drum, and I don't know if it's just because it's that really low. But this year, and I got it on camera, I couldn't hear it on the video after, but I could hear it in person. That one, I think maybe it was in October. The ones that flew down, I called them out of the roost in October,
And they were
and they flew down and they were underneath me strutting in October. Yeah, like
Isn't
some
that
kind of
freaking
like
sweet?
that.
You feel
Yeah,
it in your chest.
and I
It's
was
hard
like,
to
oh my
it's hard to
God.
recreate it, but you just feel it like in your lungs. You're like,
Exactly. I could.
here they come, boys. Here they come.
And it's the first time I was so excited on the video. I'm like, oh my God, I hear him drumming because I can't hear that low for some reason when I'm out there. But and then like I said, I couldn't hear it once it was on the video. I couldn't hear it anymore. But I brought it to, you remember Cowboy Paul?
Mm-hmm.
I gave it to him, and he goes, he's drumming, and I'm like, I know.
I know, isn't that amazing? No, there's two things that I listen for because I got into turkey hunting, so I've been doing it for a long time. There's two things that I listen for, especially with Easterns. I feel like Osceolas don't drum nearly as much. Actually, I'll take it back. There's three things I listen for, and when I hear those three things, those birds are as good as dead.
And close.
As good as dead. That's what I mean. Like they're right fucking there. Drumming, I feel like I can hear that pretty far out. Spitting, when they start to spit, that pss, that pss, doo-doo, 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 pss, like that kind of noise, like in between the soft like, and then you'll hear the tips of their wings
Dragging the ground.
dragging on the sand or the leaves or whatever, but you'll just hear this kind of like, because they're all puffed out. I know you can't see me really well, but they're all like, they're like this, and their wings are just as they move like step side to side. And those three things, man, it's about a done deal at that point.
It's over with.
Cody and I, when I took him for the first time, we were in an area that had a lot of birds, but there was a lot of bird hunters. And we got back to a spot on the river, and I was just sitting there kind of doing like some blind calling, like really soft, like yup, 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 yup. And then lo and behold, we hear this like, oh my God, he's right fucking there. And so we hurry up to a log, and we got him pretty close. And I don't know if it was because obviously we're not the only ones that heard him. There were definitely other turkey hunters that heard him, because I could hear behind us somebody else going, yup, 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 yup. Like, God.
Doing the old school dozier when we first started hunting.
Yes, exactly. And it was just nonstop. I'm like, buddy, go away. I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, he was definitely within like 20 yards because he came in, he was moving in. And then after the turkey hunters behind us, who should not have been there because they knew we were there because my truck was parked at the end of the drive. They must have been like 40 yards behind us. And it was just,
were you on public somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that
I would say where, but it does there's so many damn people as it is. I didn't even get drawn for spring turkey in Florida. So many people have applied for it, I guess. I applied
I've
both
only-
days. Go ahead.
I was going to say I've only been on public in Florida for turkeys. I've not dealt with public in Georgia at all. Now we have private land up here at Louisville, but there's we got 3,200 acres, and 4 of us hunt regular, and 6 of us in total will go out and hunt.
Yeah, and I'm hopeful that little deal that we talked about might happen.
I hope so. I haven't gotten a text back from Mr. Frank yet, but we'll see.
Well,
if
I'm
happens.
thinking maybe if I just hand him the cash, it might work better.
It used 10 years ago. That's what we did. Here,
if there's only so many people that hunt turkeys, like what difference does it make? You know what I mean?
Yep. There's 11 or 12 zones, and the most that's out there in one day is 6.
Yeah, exactly.
One person per zone.
And you and I are going to be hunting together anyway most of the time. Regardless, I mean, I'm hopeful for that, but this is the first year I've put in for public land in Georgia, and I was researching some of those wildlife management areas, and I want to say the drawing's on February 2nd or something like that, so we should hear back here in the next month or so. But that'll be interesting. I feel like there's just not as many turkey hunters in Georgia as there are in Florida, and I think it's because I think that it's primarily like if you look at Florida and you draw that line across the state, most of the turkey hunters are down south because of the Osceola. That's what everyone wants. They want an Osceola. So
them big 2-inch hooks.
Yeah, and they pay big money for it. My buddy Dylan Rutledge he could make a living off guiding for turkey hunting if he wanted to. If they offered health insurance, he probably would do it. But I mean, he charges a crap load of money for Osceolas, and then you look at what he charges for Easterns, or like what I used to charge and what I used to charge for Easterns. It's significantly different. I mean, it's a huge discrepancy. It's like $1,000 for Eastern birds, $5,000 to $6,000 for an Osceola.
Yep.
So I mean, it's pretty substantial.
I just want to kill one with a shotgun.
I want to kill one.
Me too.
With one of those guillotine broadheads.
Well, do you remember the only one I've ever personally killed, right? That I caught?
This story...
You wouldn't believe it had you not been there for all of the other stories.
I don't know the legalities on this story.
I don't think there was anything wrong with it. We were turkey hunting.
Yeah, but then there was I'll say an alleged and potential transport of live animals.
I mean, he was dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. He was dead. When I got a hold of him, he wasn't completely dead. I fell on him. I fell on him, and he wasn't totally dead yet. And then as we were taking him somewhere to go and make him totally dead, because I wasn't going to just pull his head off, he croaked out. I must have squished some vitals of some sort.
Got it.
But we were turkey hunting. It was turkey season. I was calling for somebody else.
Tell the story. It was a good story. It was funny as hell.
Well, I was turkey hunting in Central Florida. I guess Central Florida. Was that Pasco Polk area? I don't remember if it's Polk County or Pasco County, that little piece of private. But anyways, I was with 2 other guys, and they were both on a gun in front of me, and we had 2 birds out in front of us a ways. I mean, we couldn't see them. We were hunting in thick stuff, kind of smallish pines with low palmettos with just openings, and then scrub oak and stuff like that. But anyways, I'm calling to these birds. We didn't have decoys or anything. And they kind of stopped. They kind of stopped gobbling. So I got quiet, and I'm behind them like 20 yards, kind of up against just a little hill that's just big enough for me to lean against. And my head was higher than this little hill. I mean, maybe it was an old tree stump that dirt had piled around or something. I don't know. It's just what it was like.
Decomposed and turned to dirt or something.
Yeah. So I'm quiet, and then I hear, I'm just sitting there with my slate call in my hand, and I hear, and it comes up behind me, standing on the mound right behind me to my left. and I look up, and it's a turkey, and I didn't know what kind of turkey it was, and I think I was 19, so 37.
You're just like,
God,
oh
it's
my
almost-
God, it's a big bird.
Yeah, I just saw a big turkey, and I reached up and grabbed it by the foot, and it went to town, beating me up. And you'd think, being in Florida, like an Osceola, it'd have big spurs, and it had 1.25 inch spurs.
How sharp were they?
They weren't. They were nubbed off. They weren't
Ooh,
really
got
sharp.
lucky.
So I don't know if it was an old bird. I don't
I'll
know.
bet
how
you
that
was an
works.
old bird and he broke them off because they'll do. Have you ever seen like a rooster, how you can break the spurs off and it turns
Yep.
to a nub? I'll
Yep.
bet you that's what it was now that you say that, because then that makes more sense that he was kind of like not 100% mentally with it.
Well, it wasn't
Just an
even
old-ass bird.
Yeah, it wasn't even the spur that was getting, because I had a hold of one leg, and it wasn't his spur that was getting me. It was his wings. He was beating the piss out of me with his, just constantly beating me with them things. And, my buddies stand up and they're like, what the fuck's going on? And they turn around, and of course the other birds are gone after all that commotion. And
Here
by
you
this
are,
time
like,
I had
hanging onto this thing like a kite.
I had stood up and tried to grab the other foot, and I fell. I don't know how. I fell, and when I fell on the bird. And luckily, it was a trophy bird. It had 1.25 inch spurs. I don't know how much it weighed. He had an 11.5 inch beard.
Jesus.
And it had the whole. I don't know if I can put this in the camera. You know how it does the whole drag thing, and where the front of the beard is like shaved off from it dragging.
Dragging on the ground.
Yeah. So it was awesome. And, that's the only bird I've ever killed. And I didn't intentionally kill the bird. I was turkey hunting it, but I was calling for somebody else. And again, the only people that believe that story are my dad, because he knows me. You, because you know every other story, because you were there for every other story. And the two guys that were with me, because they were dumbfounded at how this whole thing went down.
I just believe it because there seems to be a theme of you getting beat up by animals.
That is true. That is, well, because I'm dumb enough to grab a hold of the freaking wild ass things when I'm out there.
I love it. That's great.
But that's the story of the only bird I've ever personally harvested, whether it be on accident or not. I have called in birds for a couple other people, but
my first bird
never shot one myself.
I remember my first bird like it was yesterday. It was what really got me into hunting, and it really like turned me on to this idea of like I remember hearing my first box call. I was like maybe 12 or something, and we were in a feed store, and it was sitting on the counter at Farmer's Feed in Dade City, Florida. And I went to rubbing on it, and it was like, you know what I mean? And then the guy behind the counter, he grabs it, he goes, it's like this, son. I'm like, oh my God. And then he goes, it's a turkey call. It's a box call. I'm like, what the hell's a turkey call? So I, some years later, remembered that, went and bought one, and I'd sit down there and bottom 40, the back 40 at my parents' house, and just sit there and yuck, yuck, yuck. And I'd do some reading, flip a couple pages. This is me. You can't really see. If you're listening, I'm sitting there flipping pages, reading, yuck, yuck, yuck. Read a couple more pages, yuck, yuck, yuck. And I looked up, and there's a damn bird right in front of me. I'm like, oh my God, it works. And it was like everything came together. Boom! and he's dead. And it was just the greatest thing, man. I mean, when it all came together like that, I was like, okay, I could get into this.
Yep.
And then it has obviously snowballed.
Yeah, I'm excited to go again this year, and I have a lot of confidence this year. The birds seem to be in the same place every year.
Can you guys
from what
hear
everybody
that?
says.
Can you hear that? Like it's like a tung. My dog keeps jumping up, and he'll smoke the blinds and lift them up with his nose to look out the window. And I can hear it, but I don't know if you guys can hear it.
Can you hear my kid running up and down the hallway with his wagon?
I cannot.
We're all right.
These mics
These
are
are
good, man.
microphones right here.
I'm telling
and
you.
that's it.
All right, just checking. Cody, I can't wait for you to have the same story, dude. It's gonna be good. It's gonna happen this year for sure.
I know. Well, that story of us that you told, where we were sitting at that little like river pond thing of water.
It was a river.
We were, yeah, and we were like, we had literally, I mean, we had been out there for a while already, and like you said, I mean, there were a ton of people out there, and I remember we were kind of like, I don't want to say giving up, but we were kind of like, okay, like we might head back soon. Like I remember you brought your fly rod. We were like, okay, that's why we were walking over there. Because we were going to go.
Right.
Like,
I forgot that. Yes.
Yeah, in the little river, and so we were literally.
The river
like,
was so low. There were like big bass.
Yeah.
Like, you could see them.
Oh my God, they were stacked up in there, and I was like, dude, I got to bring my fly rod back here at some point while it's.
And then you hear the turkey, and you don't know what to get excited more about.
Dude, I dropped my fly rod immediately. I'm like, run to that stump now.
Yes, I know, and hearing that, like, that was the moment where I was like, okay, I could like do this, because like even just hearing it, like after all that time just sitting there and not hearing anything, and like you're kind of like, okay, like you know, you're like, well, it might not happen today, whatever, and then like you just hear that one little like ounce of like sound, and you're like, whew. I remember
your heart blows out of your chest,
and I was like, here we go.
Oh, my vision gets like, when I hear it and I'm sitting down, my vision gets blurry because I'm just like, it's almost like my blood pressure is so high.
Yeah.
Like I might pass out. That's how I'm going to die one day. I'm going to have a brain aneurysm in the turkey woods, and they're going to find my body with, you know, turkey tracks all over me because they've just been walking all over the fuck. Like, I'm telling you, that's how it's going to be, because like my vision will get incredibly blurry for a split second, like, oh, and it's just, and then it comes back, and I'm like, okay, breathe. every single time that I hear a bird in the woods, that's what happens. It's the greatest thing. It does it. This is how much I love bird hunting. It does it for turkeys. It does it. I do it for quail. First of all,
even though you're not hunting them probably hardly ever.
Correct. If you have ever been walking through Palmetto in southern Georgia, Florida, Texas, and had a covey of quail rise in front of you, it's an immediate, I have to go back to the truck and change my pants.
Mm-hmm.
Because
not because you were excited.
No.
because Sam Squinch just tried to kill you.
Yes. It's just an immediate, like, voiding of the bowels. It's just, oh God. Like, you think that you're dead. And then you're like, okay, it was quail.
Because they wait until you're like in the middle of them to just flush completely all around you.
Did you know that quail will form a circle? It's usually like between 6 and 12 or 6 and 14 or something like that. A covey. Excuse me. They'll form a circle and face outward in that circle. And then from whichever direction the noise is coming from, that is the first bird to flush. And then the rest of them, poof.
That's crazy.
It's annoying, is what it
is. It's awesome and holy crap scary at the same time.
Yeah.
Especially if mine are always when I'm walking through like mature pines and I'm in dog fennels, 6 foot, 8 foot dog fennels. Mm-hmm. That's when they get me. And then they flush all around me, and I don't know which way to run from this giant animal that's trying to eat me.
I miss the sound of quail in the evenings, like up at my parents' house and stuff at the property. I miss that so much.
They're still up there, aren't they?
Not as much.
Really?
I haven't heard it in a few years now. Yeah. Yeah, it's bad.
When I was hanging out front of the camper door earlier this year, video, and you heard the ones that were coming right up to the camper door.
Oh, the camper / camper quail stories are legend.
Oh, you're talking about at camp. I'm talking about where I had to live for 3 months here at my house.
Oh,
during
no
my
way.
divorce.
Oh, yeah. I got you. I always forget that you had that thing.
It's still out there.
I forget that. No, I'm talking about at the camp in Louisville.
when we were calling to each other, hungover and drinking coffee, trying to call the quail that was opposite side of the lake.
Go ahead. Tell the whole story, man.
You want the whole story, like French vanilla and all?
You might as well.
I think that was
well.
I think that was 2 different mornings, but it was.
This is literally going to turn into a podcast about us just literally getting on here and bitching about our wives and exes. And I'm 100% for it.
Hey, every hunter can relate.
Absolutely, every man can relate. Are you kidding me? Go ahead. I've said French vanilla on the podcast before, so you might as well clue people into the inside joke.
Well, I think it was the second day, but I'll go to it. I walk out right at daylight, and I don't know which one of us did it first. I feel like maybe I walked out, and I always kind of make a noise or do something, but I think I called.
I think you did.
I think
first.
I let out a, and almost instantly, I heard another one. I'm like, oh my God, it's calling back to me.
And your vision got blurry, and you got all excited.
And it called back again, and I'm like, oh my God, it's on the dam. It's right there on the dam. So this goes for like 5-6 minutes, and then either Johnny or I caught a glimpse of the other one and realized that we were just calling to each other.
I'm sitting there fishing, and I hear a quail over by the camper, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a covey of quail over by the camper. How cool is that? Oh my God, it called. It's answering me. Oh my God, how cool is that? It's just
instantly
like
too. Like, wow, I'm calling really good.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
Well,
man.
that could be a testament to you guys' calling skills. We could look at it 2 ways.
Well, we're
You
good
guys
at
are
calling each other.
Yeah, I don't know if an actual quail would believe that or not, but it sounded good from where I was at.
Oh man, that was good stuff. And then the French vanilla story was I got the wrong creamer, and I was supposed to get liquid French vanilla creamer for my ex, and I got powdered instead. And
Which apparently was the end of the world.
Yeah, she figured that out that morning, the next morning.
We were
and I was
hammered that night.
I was sitting on the porch just having my coffee with my powdered creamer that I was happy with.
Which we get down there because sometimes the power goes out. It's a lot easier to store. You know, powdered creamer and hunting camps are just it goes.
Honestly, it's like who cares? You know.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Oh no doubt.
But yes, like Johnny said, end of the world, and
I'm just sitting on the dam. Every one of these stories starts with me fishing because I wake up, crack acid on, ass crack it on, get out there on the dam and start fishing. And I just hear this because it's far enough away that you can still hear things, especially in that early morning like stillness, but you can't make out actual words. And then you just hear this like French vanilla.
So basically, you hear the hollering, screaming, cackle, and then me basically with the same tone. I don't know what the big deal is.
It's the same tone that you're talking in now. You're just like, I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah, and so Johnny comes strolling back later on after she's gone back inside, and he's like, "So, I reckon you should have got liquid creamer, huh?" Or something like that, something smart, because he could hear me getting my ass chewed the whole time.
I was just like, what's wrong with the French vanilla?
And when I told her that story, that's when she hated Johnny from then on too. So
it's all right.
It is what it is. Now we've moved on, and I'm excited to take mine turkey hunting with me next year.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, so it's funny. Caitlin grabbed me. No, wait, what was it? I was showing her picture. So I think I sent you guys. I posted the one on Instagram of the strutter. There's another picture that I got off that cam, and it's like 8 or 9 long beards all in the same picture.
Oh yeah, I saw that one too.
Okay, and there's one of them where it's just like, holy God, that's a rope.
It's a rope.
I showed that to Caitlin. She's like, I could shoot a turkey. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, is that something that you'd be interested in doing? She's like, yeah, I'll go with you this summer or this spring. I was like, Yeah, finally. So we might have to triple date in the woods. We'll get a pregnant Kristen out there, see what she does.
I don't know. I kind of feel like Kristen would be more likely to shoot a turkey than Caitlin would.
Kristen's going to be like the one. She'll be sitting there. Oh my God, it's so cute. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. It's so 100%. Go, turkey, go. Go, survive. We're going to be blasting from all sides.
Yeah.
Run, turkey, run.
Or we'll be sitting there and Kristen, like, we won't see anything, and we'll just be sitting there, and she'll be like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know why you guys do this.
Yeah,
unless there's action. A lot of times they might. I don't know your girl, so.
Yeah, you do. You met her.
I mean, I don't know them that well to know if they would, be out there all in, or if they'd, think it was dumb. They probably.
I would like
to
just point out that we've talked for 40 minutes about our exes and current relationships and turkeys and stuff like that, and we've hit basically zero of the topics on the list.
I'm telling you, man, this is relatable content to every single hunter throughout the United States.
I agree.
Wife mad, wife thinking what we do is stupid, and I mean we're hitting everybody.
I'm gonna give Cody the floor and give me some like workout routines that you're doing to get ready for the upcoming spring turkey season.
Oh boy!
Because let's be real. Like it doesn't matter if it's you, Kelly, me, anybody. If you're turkey hunting, it's cardio. You have to be doing cardio because you're going to be walking, you're going to be moving. Sometimes you're going to be hustling to get to a point where those birds are, and you need to do it quick. So what are you doing right now?
Well, right now I'm just trying to get back into it. So I just got over COVID, which was not very fun. And then before that, like 3 weeks ago, I had like the stomach flu. So I have been just out of it.
I'm impressed that you're here right now.
I know, yeah, me too. No, but I do really want to get back into it. I think I'm going to start running again. I really want to run. My little New Year's resolution, which I'd love to hear a New Year's resolution from you too, but mine, I think one of them is going to be that I would love to train for a marathon.
That sounds terrible.
Hand in hand. It sounds terrible, but I think the feeling would just be like it would just be so rewarding to like train and like work so hard and then like kind of accomplish that goal. Plus I've never run a marathon. I enjoy running, but I like running more for activities, not necessarily just go out and just run on the sidewalk. Like I like to like play sports and stuff and run that way, but I'm trying to get a little more into like just going out and running, especially like where we live here in Florida. There's so many nice places to run, like the beach and near the water and stuff, which like helps. So I don't know. I think I'm going to try to start running again, start out real slow, probably run a mile.
It's funny you say that because I fucking hate running. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. However,
I second that.
Yeah. I say all that. I went for a jog last night. I will say this. So I went for a jog last night. I did an ice bath afterwards. Felt fantastic. Got out of the ice bath. I thought that I had broken my foot. My foot was like, it was in so much pain
like
from the jog because I'm so overweight. And I was like, wow, this was a terrible idea. So
I'm of the opposite side of that spectrum altogether. Like, I know people like running. I know exactly why. I know it's healthy for you. But to hell with the person who decided it was a good idea because I friggin' hate it. I hate running.
What Greek or Roman decided that running was a good idea to be a sport? Like, who was like, you know what? Let's just run. Why don't we just run over there instead of walk?
Whatever one was on foot running away from something that was trying to eat them, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was a big bear or a wolf or something coming after him.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't like it at all. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to train by running, but I will do, I might go do just a bunch of hiking through properties, public or private.
Yeah.
Legally.
Yeah, legally, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I went on a ruck the other day. I thought that I was I thought that I was squirrel. Oh my God, Jesus! I thought that I was squirrel hunting, and it turns out there are no squirrels where I was hunting, and I was just walking around with a bunch of weight on my back. So that's all I did.
You gotta come over. You gotta come over to my house because there is the neighbor that lives catty corner to us. They feed the squirrels. And
no.
I have never seen so many squirrels in my life. It is like, and these things will like, I could get like a foot away from them and they just stare at me. I mean, they like don't move. I don't know if they like hand feed them over there or like what they're doing over there, but these squirrels.
See, that's the thing. You could shoot one of those squirrels and then show it to the people that are feeding it and immediately have the cops called on you.
Yes, 100%. But I'm getting very tempted to
you
just
could not show it to them.
They go all on the fence.
I'd have to show it to them.
This would be real fun.
It would be like, because that they've named a couple of those things. So there's a squirrel where I work at one of the houses where I'm at, and some of the guys, some of the boys have hand fed it, and I'm like, if that thing gets within striking distance, I'm going to kill it. Like I'm not gonna go. I'm not setting myself up to kill it. I will be sitting outside enjoying the weather, and if it gets near me, it will die.
You got to hillbilly it up when you tell them too. Like, man, there ain't nothing better than some squirrel gravy and biscuits.
I've told them that. Hey, you know what I saw the other day was they took the squirrel, quartered it, and then threw it, like seasoned it, seared it, threw it in a crock pot, cooked it down for a few hours till it fall off the bone. Basically, took the meat. I'm sorry, stand by. Put that on the back burner. Sauteed some onions and peppers. Took the meat, onions and peppers, put it in a croissant with some cheese, rolled it up, and then baked it like a little easy bake squirrel croissant. And it looked, oh my God, it looked fantastic. I was like,
that sounds tasty.
I'm definitely going to do that this year.
Yep. I'm going to have to do it for myself because Bethany said she's not eating squirrel.
Here's the thing,
she
man.
Won't try it.
Tastes just like dark meat chicken.
Mm-hmm.
You just tell them it's dark meat chicken. They won't know the difference. Go get you a rotisserie from Ingles and just take the meat and pull it off there and save the meat, throw it in the fridge, and then just have the carcass on the counter so it looks like you pulled the meat off the chicken.
I guess I could always say I got one that was made early this morning. I'm sorry if she didn't like it for some reason. Be like, I must have got an early bird.
I thought that the date said it was a yesterday bird. I'm sorry, but it tastes all right though, right?
Yep.
That's what I would do.
Well, I don't think we can go this whole podcast without talking about, John, your Christmas gift. With all this turkey talk.
Dude, I'm excited for it. I wasn't expecting it at all, but she did good. She got me the new Sitka turkey vest that's hanging up behind me.
Oh, that's what's behind you, isn't it?
Yep.
The speckle belly's gone.
I'm working. Cody came up with this idea, and I think I'm going to run with it. I want to turn the garage outside into like a podcast studio. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to start moving all the animals out there and redoing that to make it look more like a podcast studio. Get some AC in there. Get the can't think of what I was going to say. Get the roaches out. But yeah, so get the internet, get some internet out there, because right now the internet's pretty dismal out there. But if we could do that, that'd be sweet. But so yeah, the speckle belly's not in here anymore. She wanted it somewhere else, and she gets her way with everything. And so I was like, well, what can I hang up there? I was like, I'll hang I like Sitka. They do good work. I'll hang their stuff up. Yeah, and I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't sure. This is going to turn into a semi-review here. I wasn't 100% sure, because if you look at it, it's very small and very lightweight, and there's like only so many pockets. The back of it, it's hard to, if you're listening, I'm pointing at the back part of the where you would normally house your decoys, or you would throw your bird if you were to kill it. It's kind of like a big backpack back there, but there's only like one large pocket, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then on the front side there's only a couple of pockets. So it's very sleek in design, and after I read a couple of reviews and like how you should use it, it's a strictly run and gun style vest. It's not for, let's go sit out there and play for hours and hours and sit up against a tree. Let's go find the birds, run to the birds, kill the birds, and go. So it's great for poachers. Just kidding.
As much walking
Just
as I
kidding.
did this year down in Louisville, that's a heck of a pack.
I'll let you use it. You should try it.
It's pretty.
Yeah, I do.
I just get.
like the
I've got
camera.
all Walmart stuff. I've never had anything that nice before, ever.
Maybe when this podcast takes off and we hit 100,000 followers, I'll buy you each something nice.
Oh,
That'd be so nice.
And I expect something in return.
what'll be the name? What'll be the name by then? If it's 3, 5, 8 years from now, what'll be the name of the cool company? It won't be Sitka anymore. They'll be played out. It'll be like Spartacus camo or something like that.
I don't know. It'll be some sort of Gen Z bullshit, I'm
Yep.
sure. He's still wearing a Carhartt hat. Carhartt's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought about my jacket that I've had to wear.
I was telling someone the other day, I still have the original turkey vest I bought way back in the day, and it was an LL Bean turkey vest. You can't even find LL Bean turkey vests anymore.
Nope.
And one of the things about that vest is it's got 1,000 different pockets. But it's hot. Like, you sweat in that thing. So the difference is
it's not vented or whatever. Or
no. I think LL Bean's from Maine. Like, I get it, whatever. But so the difference is, like, this turkey vest is like super light. So when I threw it on, I was like, I feel naked. Don't know what I'm doing here. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked to use it. I'm excited. Cody's turkey vest is pretty sweet too. I'm not gonna lie. I can't remember if you got did you get the Nomad one or something? I can't remember what brand it was.
I know.
But
I was trying to remember the other day. It's been so long, honestly, since I've pulled it out. I only got to wear it a couple times because I got it towards the end of the season last year, and then it's just been like in the closet. But no, I love it.
I'm like, oh god dang, I can't remember the name of it. It was either Nomad or something else. I can't remember, but that thing is pretty sleek too.
Yeah. No, I like mine. I'm not gonna lie. And it's like, I don't remember the brand, but my price point was good too for what I got, which is always good.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, price is important. So if it's free, it's for me. So I appreciate that, wife. Thank you.
My favorite store is Goodwill.
Right, exactly. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Dude, there was a lady who bought a vase from Goodwill the other day. It turned out to be some sort of like
$100,000.
Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah,
I saw that.
I was like, holy mackerel.
Man, I got all kind of vases in here.
It almost made me go down to Goodwill and start looking at the vases. Vases.
Does it make you want to do
Vase or vase?
the storage units again like I was doing?
No.
You didn't like it?
No.
You got a bad unit.
We made money on it, but I hated having people come to the house and get shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
What
hated
did you do?
it.
You just bought like a storage unit that somebody had left and then flipped the stuff?
Exactly.
I did a bunch of them and made a lot of money.
Kelly would get some shit. He's like, oh my god,
I
man,
found
$4,000
$4,000 worth of junk silver.
Right.
In one of them.
He found a gun in one. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's
Here
crazy.
I've got is an old dusty mattress and some Playboys from 1970.
The first one I bought, Playboys. We bought an old pastor, a pastor's storage unit. And it was, pastor such and such all over all of his stuff. And then we found the box that had all of the stuff that the box would have in it. And we're like, no, really? A pastor? But the first one we bought
no one got that, really?
What's that? What'd you say?
I said gay porn.
No, not quite that bad. No.
Okay, thank God.
But
why are there all these pictures of choir boys in here?
The first one we bought was $60, and we sold $700 out of it.
Jeez.
So yeah, might go
That
back
ain't
to
bad.
that. Sorry. Now it's a storage. It's a storage podcast too. Storage Wars podcast.
Oh man. Let me see here. Kelly, you got on here. You got current garden prep and new chickens. What you got with that?
Oh well, new chickens are getting moved tomorrow. We talked about it, I think, on the last podcast or the one before that. How I had electric poultry netting around. I had 10 laying hens, and the coyotes got through it and just in one night wiped them out. They took every hen I had. So we had about 150 meat birds, and we've kept close to 60 of the hens, and they are also already laying about an egg a day per hen. So I'm taking 13 and setting them up. They'll be here tomorrow.
Y'all keep talking.
So I'll be
I gotta
back
step
in
away
eggs
for
again.
1 second.
Okay. They'll be back in or we'll be back in eggs again without having to, trade, beg, borrow, and steal for them, or go to the store and spend $4.50 a dozen or whatever they are now. And then what was the other one? I don't even know what the other one he said was. You see it on there?
Yeah, current garden prep.
Oh yeah, so I'm doing a big garden of corn this year, a big field of corn. I probably had an 1/8 acre garden 2 years ago, and then last year with my divorce didn't do any gardening at all. But so this year I'm doing an 1/8 acre of just corn, and the other 1/8 of an acre that was full of corn, cucumbers, and everything is going to have no corn in it. It's just going to have all the stuff that we like to eat. But my current garden prep is deciding and laying out what I'm going to plant in what rows. That's the big plan, and acquiring seeds, going ahead and ordering seeds now for the stuff I don't have. I do still have a ton of seeds, but I'm adding some stuff this year, so I've got to order some seeds.
Will this be the first time you've done corn?
No, so I did corn 2 years ago. We had 8 rows, which my kids actually planted it all. We went out and we literally planted by hand. You poke your finger in the ground and put the corn kernel in there. So it's super green to us, and we did it the hard way.
As far as corn is concerned, though, like, do you have to? Isn't there like a certain amount that you have to plant for it to like self germinate? Am I using that term correctly?
We did. I think I did 30-inch row spacing, 6-inch seed spacing, and I had 50-foot rows, or were they? They were 50-foot rows, 60-foot wide, and we did 50-foot rows. 8
Did
of
you
them.
go through and did you have to like tap the corn, like the stamen, onto it, like the other corn? You know what I'm talking about?
We hilled the corn as it was coming up. We would hill the sides of the corn. So I made rows that were probably 10 or 12 inches high, and then last year or that year, we'd poke holes every 6 inches and drop a kernel in it and cover it.
Gotcha.
Which took a long time. We're doing it this way quite a bit differently, so basically everything sprouted. I think it said it would take like 14 days for it to germinate, but we had them in 8 or 9 days. We had a good rain, and then everything that didn't come up. So once I saw the first planting, I guess, germinated, I waited 4 or 5 days, didn't get any germinate, and then you go and replant all of your misses. So the ones that don't germinate.
Resets.
Yeah. So basically, if you don't have tight rows, you don't have them close enough, you don't have the corn close enough to each other, so silk grows out of the corn,
That's
corn cobs, essentially.
So I remember when I did it, you had to tap the silk so that it would like fall on each other. That's what I was
that
talking
you
about.
have to do that when you have a little
Yeah.
small block of corn.
Yeah.
When you have rows like that and you have them
The
kind of
wind just
tightly
does it,
spaced,
right?
the wind does it for you. I didn't have to
Yeah,
do any of that. So when it started going to I mean, I had bees all over the pollen, all over the stalks at the top. And it's eluding me what you call that, but we had the bees were knocking it off, the wind was knocking it off, and all of our I mean, I had almost 100% germination, or sorry,
Wow.
100% pollination on all of the corn. It was
Wow. That's
awesome.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was my first try, kid's first try ever trying to do it.
I think I planted the clover in that food plot this last year. Well, we have acquired that whole piece. So I think what I'm going to do is do corn on the exterior, like circumferencing the plot, and then do
like a screen.
Yeah, exactly. And then do like clover on the inside. And I'm definitely going to do some what do you call it? The fencing and the circular fences, just to kind of manage and see like how heavy.
Oh yeah, to see how much they're feeding on it.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, because I couldn't. I mean, from the pictures, I know I send you guys pictures all the damn time, and it's just like it's
20 deer standing out there.
Oh my god, it's insane. So I'm like, how many does should I be taking off this property?
They get into everything here on the homestead, man. I had 6 different types of beans last year, and I did 20 plants of each one, and they just luckily the fence was working well until right about harvest time. But I got all my green beans picked, all the pinto beans picked, and they completely wiped out my second planting of green beans and kidney beans. They ate every single plant down to the dirt, and it was just a couple of days of the fence charger is a solar fence charger, and I've got the white ribbon tape all the way around, so they bump into it, shocks them, and it just, for whatever reason, was grounded on some grass or something, and they got in, and when they did, they stepped on the fence, and then they could step over it. And once they started going, you could just see the path where they went to the same place every single time. But, got a plan for that this year too.
Dirty bastards.
Yeah, got a plan for that this year. And so right now the prep is just, like I said, deciding. I actually have an app on my phone, and it also goes on the computer where I can map out my garden areas. One of them's really easy. It's just an 1/8 acre of corn. And then the other one is my garden from last year, where I'm just putting the rows.
That sounds awesome.
I think it's called the Farmer's Almanac Garden Planner or something like that. If you look up Farmer's Almanac Garden Planner, it's going to pop up in under the search.
I got to get me one of those. That's pretty sweet.
It's $30 for a year. Yeah, I know, but it tells you when you can put in there when something germinated, what the temperature was, what you had in each row, so you can turn over your rows. You can put something different there next year. What type of seed of that particular vegetable you used and how quickly it grew and how long it went to harvest time. There's a lot of stuff. I look like the real analytical type, right? I look like freaking something off Duck Dynasty now, but I do like looking at that stuff and paying attention to it. And so I use it. But right now, all it is prepping the dirt. I'm putting a lot of lime down. A lot of people don't like tilling. I till my dirt. It's all clay. So I till it and then put in.
We tilled up in Blairsville. It helps.
Yeah.
And we limed a little bit too.
Yep. I'm putting lime down, powdered lime. I put it down, I till it in, and I put a lot of compost. I get compost where I go get it or have it brought in. I haven't gotten my compost this year yet, but we get it from the same place every year, and they'll either bring it in by a big truck or I go get a few truckloads and then dump it in.
Your cows, can you use the manure from the cattle and spread it?
We can. Yeah, we can do that. The pig manure also. The pig manure I think it has to wait 6 months because they do eat meat, and people say not to use that pig shit basically for your garden unless it sat for 6 months. I don't know. I mean, But we can use pig manure too. That's more for like fertilizer or whatever. But I used mostly last year for fertilizer. I used blood meal and bone meal.
Yeah, bone meal. I've heard is a big
for the
one.
corn, I cheated a little bit. I used some 3600 on it a couple of times, and it blew up. And but this year I am gonna use some stuff to try to keep pests off. We did towards the end of our corn harvest have some worms get into it, which for that there was always the very end of the corn cob.
Yeah, the very tip, right?
Yeah.
What?
And
Is
so
that
I
just the easiest point that they can access or something?
Yeah, I just lopped it off, and we washed them, lopped it off, washed them, and then we packaged everything up. So not last year before that.
There was a couple
packaged
years
everything
ago.
up, blanched it, and not shrink wrapped it. Vacuum sealed it and put it in the freezer. The cobs.
Yeah. There was a couple years ago we went up to the Blairsville Farmers Market, and this dude had some corn that looked phenomenal. Like that, they love growing corn up there, and it does really well in that soil. And I remember steaming it in the husk on the smoker, and I would give it out. I'd give it to people. The first time you'd peel it, man, every single one of those cobs had a giant worm in it right on the tip. It freaked everybody out. And I was just laughing my ass off. I'm like, it's extra protein. Don't worry about it. They're delicious regardless.
I can't eat the worm.
I wouldn't eat the worm.
I do just lop it off. I do just lop off that part of the corn cob.
I did the same thing. Like the kids loved it. They're like, oh, it's a worm. But it was good.
You want to talk about things that your kids will love? I took out one of the it's this black light that I used to try to use for searching for blood at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go out and find tomato hornworms on the tomatoes at night.
Those
and
things glow.
I mean, they glow so bright, and they look like they're going to bite your ass.
Yep.
They don't, but they look like they're going to. And we go get a bucket full of them because it don't matter what you use, you're going to have tomato hornworms.
And give them to the chickens.
Yeah, I had 60 tomato plants, so I had some worms.
Lots of worms.
Yeah. And
dude, the chickens destroy those things.
I mean, fighting over them, pulling them apart.
Yep. It's like Jurassic Park. Yep. It's like the scene when they lower the cow into the velociraptor pen. Dude, they go apeshit over those things. It's incredible.
I don't know what the kids like more, though, finding the worms or taking the worms to the chickens.
Yeah, I know.
But they love it. Are we going to catch worms tonight? It was awesome.
Yeah, that is fun stuff. Dude, I think we need to wrap up with your duck hunting story. Like, I cannot believe that we haven't touched on that yet.
Oh, yeah.
We just posted the picture today. It looks like you guys had a pretty good morning.
Yeah, we did. So I've never duck hunted before.
Listeners to the podcast will know that we've talked about how you have just this insanely ungodly amount of wood ducks living behind your property and on your neighbor's property where you have permission to hunt, and it's fantastic.
Well, until this morning, I didn't realize how many wood ducks were back there. Like I was telling you, 50, 60 is what we'd see fly up. Well, that's just what we see fly up out of right behind my house. So we went into my beaver pond this morning. I've never duck hunted before, and obviously my son Kelly has never duck hunted before because he's pretty much only hunted with me. He has only hunted with me and my dad. But so I've done my YouTube research, ordered decoys, learned how to put out a spreader rig, ordered a wood duck call, got decent at using my just mouth as a wood duck call. Excuse me, and went out and I went out a couple of days ago. I think I sent you some videos of, I just walked in to see where they were kind of at during the day in this pond, and there were probably 50 wood ducks just in the beaver pond, and they, a couple of them fly out and they fly back down. So we just went right there and put out the spreader rig, and I had Kelly probably 5 yards away from me against the tree, and I was leaning against the tree. And I'm yanking this. It's a jerk rig, spreader rig, so it's got 4 ducks on it, and they're splashing around, and because wood ducks want a lot of movement, a lot of splashing, and so I told him, I said, right at daylight. I mean, just shooting light, just legal shooting light. We're going to have ducks on us like crazy. And they were. Man, it was, I had this opening in the beaver pond. It's all real thick timber, flooded thick timber all the way around us. And they didn't come in the way I assumed they were going to. I thought, because it's so thick to our west, I thought they were going to circle around and then fly right at us and land in this opening, because that's how they leave. They fly out of the opening and then circle back and go back to the west and go roost wherever they're going to go roost. They didn't. These ducks were coming behind us through the thick timber and flying right between
branches,
all these trees.
Jeez.
And we'd have to wait until they got just past us to try to shoot. So the first, I don't know, 5 or 6 waves that came through, I could have shot several times, but Kelly wasn't. He's never shot at a duck before, so he was. I don't know if he was nervous or didn't know how far away he
probably
could
taking
shoot
it
them.
all in. He's like, "Holy shit! It's doing it just like Dad said."
Yeah, like I'm some kind of professional or something. Never done it before, and so finally, I told him. I said, "The next ones that come through, I'm going to shoot. I'm not waiting for you to shoot anymore." So they come through, and the funniest thing, they had teeth cleaning appointments today at 11.
Mm-hmm.
So the 6th wave comes through. I get a phone call, and I'm on the phone with the dentist.
Oh no!
And they said, we got to change your appointment. The dentist has the flu. And I hear the squeak that they do, not the that I hear the.
Oh yeah, the really high pitched.
Yeah, almost like kissing.
Mm-hmm.
And they come down kind of from behind me, and they go, and they're about to land in the decoys, right? Like land in the decoys next to Kelly. Kinda, but it's a real light squeak. Yeah, the end of that real light squeak when they're coming in. Kinda.
I'm still working on my.
I'll have to send you a video. I don't think there's a call that they make. It's more like a. It's a kiss.
I know exactly the sound you're talking about. I can't replicate it on this thing.
I don't think they can replicate it on any call. I haven't heard anybody using that call.
Really?
But so they fly right down. They're about to land, and I'm like, hang on a second, talking to the dentist. And Kelly whips around the tree. Boom!
Boom!
And first shot, he drops one, and she's like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" I'm like, "Sorry, we're duck hunting." And he didn't know he killed it, so he's trying to get on another one, and just they're flying away now, and he couldn't get on another one, and then it was dead, and its head was underwater, but it's still they kick a little bit.
Yeah, they're flapping.
And he looks at me, he goes, "I got one," and it was awesome.
I bet.
He's running to it, best you can in waist deep water and mud, and going to get his bird. And it was a beautiful drake. Like you couldn't ask for a more perfect bird. Period. Much less his first one that he got. And he's shooting this over under 20 gauge that I bought him when a week before COVID hit. When he was in Shotgun Club, and he was supposed to start competition the next week. So it's the first time he's got to hunt with it at all.
Nice.
But we had
freaking stoked.
Dude, he's already begging me if we can go tomorrow, but we can't. Maybe Friday or Saturday we could get to go if I get permission. But so we come out.
Wait till Saturday, maybe I'll drive up.
Yeah, we could probably do that. We could do that. I mean, there's so many ducks. When we walked out, we went to the other side so that I could check my camera. Oh, I forgot I need to check my camera card. I have it in my pocket. I wanted to go check my camera and see if I had any big bucks on the camera. And I said, well, let's walk over behind Greg's house because I can hunt my neighbor's property too. And he's got his beaver pond's probably 4 times the size of mine.
You have written permission to hunt his property.
Yeah, I don't have written permission, but we literally we work a homestead with each other. I milk his cows.
It's not a euphemism.
Yeah. So we walk over and I'm like, well, maybe we'll see a couple and we can jump shoot them. and we get up, and I'm like, oh, there's like 3 ducks up there. Let's crouch and sneak and get up to them. Well, we didn't get to within 40 yards of them, and they flew up. Well, it wasn't 3, it was 50.
Oh, geez.
There were probably 50 ducks flew out of this one little spot, and we're like, holy crap, look at all the ducks. That's where we should have been. And while we're talking, another flock behind it of probably 50 flew up and then made a big circle all the way around this pond.
No way.
And we're like, no way. Okay, we're coming here. We're coming here. Let's go walk and see where they land. So these actually went to the other side of the pond. You could see them. We're watching just their heads swim to the other on the other side of the pond. And we walked probably 10 yards further, and to our left, it's flooded to our left also, another big flock, just giant flock comes through. And I'm like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. We're going to come sit by those 2 trees right there when we come the next time and probably waste all of our ammunition. Because I have seen them come into that pond, and I know they fly right over that and land on that end. And I think I don't know what type of grass it is, but they're eating the seeds off of this grass. It's all dead, and you can see the seeds floating everywhere.
Yeah.
And they all fly to that end of his pond because that's where the beaver dam's at. And it kind of eddies and makes these real quiet pond-like where there's just no current and the eddies on the sides. And all these seeds like pack up in the spot. And that's where they were all at. To the left where that one flock was at, and to the right where those 2 big flocks took off was the same kind of eddy. And so they all fly into right there and come eat there all day long. When we're in the deer stand, we see them over there. We can hear them eating all day long. I just did not realize. I had no clue how many ducks there were there.
You just telling that story, I'm about 30 seconds away from texting my wife and being like, hey, by the way, I think you're working this weekend, so I'm going to be in Georgia with Kelly and little Kelly.
Dude, it's stupid. It's stupid. And Kelly wants to go all the time. I told you in the last podcast, I'm like, man, I'm afraid the way I'm going down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Is maybe something that
yeah.
Winds up getting me in trouble because I'm going to like it so much. And after having them just pile into the hole that we were in, coming over the tops of those trees, and then seeing them fly the way they were this morning, it was amazing. And I'm going to do it a lot more.
That's crazy. I'd love to go duck hunting one day too. It seems fun.
What are you doing this weekend?
That'd be fun. I don't know. I don't know.
It's only a 3-bird limit per person. So
actually, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you, dude. If you go, it would be a lot easier for me to go. And then Caitlin could go over to your house and help watch Milo. I'm just saying, this could work.
That is true.
Because it would only be for Saturday night anyway.
Yeah.
We could kill we could waste a lot of ammo, or we could kill 12 ducks.
I feel like we could kill more than one drake.
Oh yeah. Gosh, we could have shot so many this morning.
I bet you should have. Oh,
I told Kelly after that one, I said, I'm not waiting for you anymore. If they come in and I can shoot them, I'm shooting them. But I don't think he'll hesitate anymore either.
No, he's going to blast the first one that comes in next time. Rightfully so. Do they fly in all day, or is it just like morning and evening?
Man, it's fast and furious for like the first hour, and then we had stragglers for about 20 minutes. Really, it was almost like they had an alarm clock at 8:30 and they shut off.
Yeah.
And then we walked over and we saw them all in that
What
pond.
if we staggered people? What if we had people in the big pond and people in the small beaver pond? Get them circling like a dove field.
I really think we just stretch across. If we did that, we stretch across where they fly across that pond and they come in and land on the east side of the pond.
Yeah.
And I really think the big pond, really think if we just stayed there, I mean, we're gonna get them. We're gonna get them all coming right over top of us because it also bottlenecks, and then they follow the creek as they fly. So goes big pond, comes to the east, and then they follow the creek, and it bottlenecks to where we'll be. So, yep.
Well, I wouldn't. Oh, we'll have to talk about it. We won't talk about it on the podcast, but that would be fun as hell. I'm down for that. I'm actually like seriously considering texting her and being like, "Hey, guess what?
Going to get me some ducks."
Oh man, dude, wild duck is delicious.
I got it in the fridge.
Especially puddle ducks. Did you save the feathers at all? Like, how does that work? Can you cape it out and save it and breast it? Or
I think you can, but I actually, because I've seen them up close and thought they were really pretty before he killed that one. Because I've still never personally killed a duck, and I thought, well, maybe we'll get one mounted if we kill several. And then I saw that it's like $450 to mount a duck, and I'm like,
maybe not.
Maybe we'll just eat them.
Is it really that much just for one duck? It only costs like $600 for a deer head.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I Googled it, and the first thing that popped up on Google was $450 to $500.
Oh.
Now maybe there's somebody that does it cheaper, but maybe it's just different because it's feathers.
Yeah,
I have no idea the process of it, but all I know
is one of those things that's a rabbit hole that I could go down and spend a lot of money learning how to do.
Yeah. Bethany told me that I should learn how to do it, and I'm like, man,
that's one more thing.
I've got one more. I got load ammo, do my own Euro mounts, homesteading. I mean, I don't have time to do what I do now, but luckily she likes a lot of this stuff too.
All right,
but
what you guys got? Anything else? About to wrap this up. We're pushing an hour 20 minutes.
Nope.
Nothing new, man. Just I had the most exciting hunt I've had in a long time, and I got to do it with my oldest son, and I'm looking forward to do it again. So maybe we'll have some more pictures on the Instagram and Facebook. If you guys haven't already, check out our Instagram. I just started, what was it, less than a week ago, I started a Facebook page. It's the same, Stay Elevated Outdoors. But you can check it out on Facebook or Instagram. Like the photos, leave some comments.
Yep.
If you haven't listened,
follow everything. If you have, I like it because we're on Spotify and Apple.
Yep.
And we're working on YouTube. But if you follow us on either one of those platforms, if you follow a podcast, it pops up every time a new episode. I didn't know this because I've never really followed people before. Pops up every time a new episode generates automatically.
So you don't miss anything.
Correct. So you won't miss all of our riveting content.
And if you listen to something and you think it's good information, or you think we were funny, or if you just listen to us and you're like, man, I could hang out with those guys. I mean, maybe we will. Or just send it to somebody, let them listen to it. They might think it's funny too, but
for sure.
We're humble, man. We're not trying to teach you how to do things over again. We're not telling you our way is better. We're just going to tell you stories about that's funny that you either would have done yourself, or
I'm telling you what works for me.
Yeah.
This is how I've had success in the past. This is what I do to get ready for it. This is how I eat. This is how I train. This is the equipment I use. Yeah,
and we're real excited about it. We're excited about it. We're not the video cameras in my face excited about stuff.
Exactly.
We're everybody people.
All right, guys. That was fun. That was good. Cody, I'm glad you're finally back. It's about damn time.
I know. For real.
You got fun. 5 days to prepare for the next one.
Yep, exactly.
You got to be on that one too.
I got to start.
We're going to have to do one live if we come up there.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, we'll have all kind of stuff. Yeah, I hope you guys can. Seriously, if you can, we'll make it happen.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Take it easy.
See you guys.